All right, so in connection with some of the things we had talked about earlier, my project is really working with a text, an edited text that's by and for students. So I'm really thinking about the audience largely. It's in the beginning stages. I think we've been working on it for a little over a year. So I consider that to be in the beginning stages, and I'll explain a little bit about what that means. So my questions are: when, where, and how much is the appropriate amount of things to annotate for students? My concerns were to think about who was going to be reading it and who was going to be making it, to provide the essential information but not too much information, and to avoid clutter. And I guess I had in mind, and it doesn't matter whose edition this is, but this kind of edition which has which isn't really legible. So if you look at that, you can't sit down and read that text. So it's not meant for a student audience. It's really meant for a computer to take it and then process it so that they can see what each element means through the computer and every type of thing. I did want to also be able to indicate just some temporary annotations about what we were unclear about. So this is the website as it is. I'm just going to show you a few little points on it. And I think someone said this was a pointer in some way. But at any rate, okay, so in a standard kind of way, we extended out the abbreviations. And then when my student or myself would come across a word we weren't too clear about, we would just put question marks. So very to be filled in later. With this is the transcription of each page with the folio and the column indicated at the top. It's not laid out in the exact same way as the page, but you can follow it. And then you can download the TEI for that particular manuscript from there. And I would say this also has to do with some permanent annotations. So as most of you who have worked with TEI know, there's no limit to the amount of information. Well, there might be some limit, but you can continually tag things to almost no end. So how much should be tagged and how much do we really want to in this? So we do want to permanently annotate the things that were the expanded abbreviations, some of the TEI tags, but not all of them. And then we also put on the website itself some paleography examples from the manuscript images. And again, this is to teach students how to read a manuscript page in a very kind of basic sort of way. So here is a different page where it's got the TEI indicated. So that's a name, Jean Baudel, and Daras is a place. We tag that as a place. All of that doesn't look like that in the TEI, of course, but on the screen it does look like that. And then, yeah, that's pretty much for how we did that. This is an example of the layout that we decided to use to talk about how we resolve certain paleographical elements. So really, a student that's going back to this site could just see, okay, that's one way that you could read, well, that is the way that in this text that particular graph was read. I guess I would say I wanted to bring up in the context of this discussion the major problem that I had, which was trying to work with editing. Ideally, you might think every edited text has similarities. Let's create a program where it makes it easy for people to do this. And so I started out working with my students on juxta editions, which is a thing, and that was the biggest mistake I have ever made in my life because they stopped supporting it, and all of that work was difficult to access. So we finally got it back out, which is good, but even now it's not available. And I think it taught me a valuable lesson about having control at the basic level of your edition, that I would not do that again. So I see the point. I think what I would like to do is be able to share with others my template, that is to say HTML. It's just HTML/XML, so that anybody could use it to put an image next to a transcription. And I think that's so basic that it won't go out of style or anything else. These are the things I'd like to add to the site as time goes on, and that is an ability to annotate directly on the image, but without too much clutter. So I want to be able for people to see the image, but still be able to kind of maybe circle some of the readings that we did. and these other ones. Ability for, this is, I would love it if people could come, colleagues, other classes could come and actually work on this site. And that's actually it. I'm done. So perfect. That's it.